Hello everyone, welcome to Ancestral Heritage TV. Colonialism reduced indigenous worldview to non-relevance. It established a worldview that has since held indigenous people in the shackles of the colonial metrics of power, from which indigenous people must break free. Otherwise, they will ever remain slaves or objects of the colonial subject. Today, I will explain what rethinking in non-colonial terms entails. This is Indigenous Perspectives, Rethinking Our Thinking with Edward Sandman Muge. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Learning in non-colonial terms is the reason Bonaventura de Souza Santos challenges indigenous persons to exercise the hermeneutics of suspicion. That is, to always suspect anything related to colonial worldview and distance themselves from its critical tradition of indigenous customs and tradition. It implies that indigenous people must open their eyes and minds regarding the very foundation of colonial truths by unearthing the lies behind their face value. Indigenous consciousness must provide the basis for indigenous cultural identity. Indigenous truth, values, education, and spirituality must serve as the springboard for reconstructing, recapturing, and reappropriating cultural values. Since existence is impossible outside of space, land, location, from which it derives meaning for the web of relationships that characterizes it. Learning in non-colonial terms entails a connection with the community, since flourishing is tied to healthy relationships with others and the elements of one's worldview. Indigenous knowledge produced within the people's localities gives reinterpretation or alternative thinking to the global design approach, where nothing is true and real except what comes from the colonial location, according to Ramon Grossfolger. Thus, every culturally determined knowledge and concept is meaningless and alien imposition when forced on other cultures. Since language is not conceptually and ideologically neutral, it behoves on indigenous people to re-conceptualize the forced language of colonialism in a way that expresses their experience and relates to their worldview. Learning must be recontextualized from colonial ideological foundations to indigenous context, that is, the re-Africanization of the de-Africanized subject. In other words, African Gnosis has to claim its independence from Western translations, what Nduluvu Gatseni calls epistemic freedom, that is, developing means of understanding their universe from their locus of enunciation. For the indigenous people to think and learn in non-colonial terms, they must construct an alternative way of thinking, or as Nduluvu Gatseni refers to it, rethinking thinking within their location. Thanks for joining Ancestral Heritage TV. Until next time, always remember that your identity is formed in your culture. Follow Ancestral Heritage TV at ancestral_heritage TV on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. Goodbye.